Hi, everybody. My name's Dave. I'm a recovery navigator here at Tal Behavioral Health, and you are listening to Tal Tales, our behavioral health podcast here at Tal Behavioral Health. And today we have a community guest. We have Miss Pamela from We Mind Homes. She does great work helping our clients get to where they need to go to in their sober living journey. We Mind Homes is a great community partner for sober living for our gentlemen after they graduate from treatment. But before we get to that, I have to do a little bit of legal mumbo jumbo. I got to get a disclaimer out of the way. This podcast is produced by Tal Behavioral Health for educational and informational purposes. The views and opinions expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Tal Behavioral Health. This podcast is not intended to provide medical, legal, or mental health advice. If you are experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, please contact emergency services or an appropriate crisis resource in your area, aka 988. Okay, getting that out of the way. Disclaimer done, and we're ready to go. All right, I'm here with Pamela. Hi, Pamela.
Hello.
Hi. Let's start with the questions. Let me bring those up on my phone. I sent those over to you yesterday. You had a chance to review them.
I did.
Thank you, by the way, for all the work that you do for our guys, and just I know it's it can be challenging at times, but it's rewarding as well, right? Like it's like we have I do this for my own recovery and to make a difference in people's lives, and I want to hear a little bit about what you're what you're doing in that arena as well. So let's bring up those questions. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah, I really appreciate you for having me. So thank you very much.
Of course. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for agreeing to come on and do this. We were thinking about doing like opening it up to the community, and it was like you were like we've been there since day one. It's like it's a slow process getting because it's real. Not everybody graduates. Not everybody, and then the guys that do graduate, sometimes they want to go to another sober house, or they want to go to so it's like it can be a challenge. Like there are so many options out there, you know what I mean? And it's like
there is, and it can be very confusing too when we're looking at housing and for residents and people who have been in the treatment centers and things. Our state has 4 different levels actually that is considered for housing, and so we're actually considered a level 1 housing for the recovery community.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. What is it to the average listener? What does level 1 mean?
So when we're doing recovery housing, it's all peer supported and it's all community housing community as much as we can. Level 3 and 4 is more on the clinical side of things. So there's a lot more going on. Levels 1 and 2 are more, much more open for community and peer support. That's much more independence for those areas.
Right.
We actually started as a level 2 housing, and that was what we were looking to do. But there's a lot more requirements for level 2 housing. So they're having house meetings every day. They're going through PHPs or IOP programs daily, and they're doing all kinds of things going on. The weekly, they're getting checked in every single day. And that's what's been around in the community is those level 2s. And we found out that when I showed up and starting to meet with people, that that's not what everybody's looking for. They've been looking for people who have been sober for like 6 months. And a lot of times going from that aspect to they would go right back home, which their chance of relapsing was much higher.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you send a guy out of the streets, it's like, okay, they graduate from treatment and then they're going home directly after that. They have no support. They have no structure. They're not ready for like the life to happen quite yet. Like on, like the variables that life has. And so like the level 1 step down situation really makes a lot of sense for a guy that's exiting a treatment like scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I really like this. We have, so people in our residents need to be 6 months sober.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much I like about the level 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more independent for them. So before they went to a very complete structured, but then going to level 1, it's not meeting every single day with residents. And we still do weekly house meetings. We still do goals and everything for the week.
We could reach over here real quick and listen.
Mm-hmm. And they are also still looking to work or have an income and learn how to incorporate themselves back into the community again, how to live life without being sober. They're not getting as much structure as they were, where it was completely sober and everybody like helping and guiding them around. Now they're much more independent. A lot of our men that we have are working.
Yeah.
And so encouraging them to attend meetings, encouraging what else they can do outside of recovery and for the recovery program and journey.
Yeah, I mean, because they're like, it's, there's like, I was reading about this the other day. Like, there's like the 168 hour model. Like, you're only engaged in like your sober living house meeting if there's one a week, then that's 1 hour, and maybe they check in with you like 1 hour a week or something like that.
Right.
And then like, so that's 166 hours a week where they're like kind of, it's like, like it's self-directed,
Right.
like they're coming from an environment where like every hour has to be accounted for, like everything, and like they're getting shuttled around, and it's all this, and like, so I feel like that's like that's going to be a cool sound. It's like a sound effect. Sorry. Laser. But yeah, like I feel like that's like it's kind of a shock, to the guy sometimes. So it's really, really important. It's critically important that they have that structure and that they have that environment.
It is.
Let's talk. Oh, sorry. No,
I was just going to say, and we have some of the men in our house who want to be house managers. And so they're going through some of the state training as well to be able to, so they're coming right back in the community. And
giving back.
I get that a lot. And it's really, it's fun. It's fun to see them click and move to the other side and realize that that's helping their sobriety and their journey.
That's the 12th step right there.
Exactly.
Okay. So, so we kind of already touched on the first question. Let's say, we've already talked about that one too a little bit. What made you decide to dedicate your career to recovery housing? Let's take it personal. Let's get personal.
Gosh, I know. I have always been a person to help people. And that has always been in my nature. I do like thrive on that. My mom put it as when a cat had kittens, everybody's looking at the kittens and stuff, and I was looking at the cat. So like the ones that are kind of on the outliers and the outskirts and stuff. And being in recovery myself, it's really, really nice to see people grow. I've always loved seeing people grow. I started off my early days in working with special needs population.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. And so this opportunity came up, which I'm very thankful for. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that chance. I'm going to do a career change. So after being a teacher, special ed teacher for 28 years, I took the leap, and here I am. And I do love it. I like seeing the growth that the men have and people have in recovery. It's been amazing. Just different things, from somebody complaining about what was going on in the house about dishes, and then to other things, or, and just handling some of that and helping the growth with
helping the guys navigate life's challenges. Like it helps me to reminds me like of like what I was like when I first came in, and it's just like, okay, like I can take a step back today. I can pause, and I have all these tools, but like watching a guy come in with no tools, and then like to see them like pick them up and like start using them and like integrate them into their recovery. It's like really, it's a special thing, because it's like, oh yeah, like this is how it works. Like they're gonna, and then one day they're gonna help another guy pick up his tools, and it's like that's what it's all about.
And it's our men in the houses actually get along very well. When we have our house meetings, there's usually house meetings are meant for dealing with issues, whatever things come up or need to happen, and that sort of stuff. And I'm always checking in what's going on. I do talk to them more often than just once a week, but it's amazing because they get along for the most part, and they're doing things together. And I love that. And we have other kind of conversations, life's type conversations that'll come up occasionally, and relationships and this and that, whatever. And it's really nice. That's part of the community of the home. When you have people in recovery and they're learning how to live life again, and they're learning stuff, you hear other people's experiences too as well.
Yeah, for sure. What's a typical day look like for somebody that was a resident of your sober living?
Oh goodness, that one's really. I saw that question, and I think out of all of them, that's the hardest because, well, the men all work, and so they're working different hours. So we do have a curfew, but we do have men working first, second, and third. So we're always working around that. So they're up, they get their food. They're not checking in necessarily within me or the house manager. They're doing their own thing and cooking. Every time I've ever gone to the house, it's clean. So that's
good.
It is good.
Yeah,
it's a non-issue. That's kind of one of the things that they all like.
6 months sober, they figured it out.
I know, right? Yeah. I can't even begin to tell you how nice that is. It's great. And so they're up, they're doing their thing. I know we have some who have activities they like to do. So some will go to fishing. We're not far from the lake at all, which is really nice.
Cool.
So a few of them are getting their fishing. We do have somebody with an ESA animal, and so he takes his dog for a walk.
Okay.
Having dinner, like different meeting times. We do have somebody who's still in a program who will get up and go to his program 2 or 3 days a week.
Okay.
So we do, and he's almost graduated. He's not quite there, but I know he will be soon.
Okay.
So they're doing. There's not really a typical day, so to speak.
Yeah, I got you. It's pretty flexible.
Yeah, it is, and that's part of because of how they are, what they're doing. They do their grocery shopping. They get out there and do all those things, meetings. Yeah, so
integrating themselves back into society.
Yeah.
One guy at a time.
Yep, exactly. It's nice.
What do you think? So people often think treatment is the hard part. In your experience, why is it that what comes after treatment is just as important? Like what?
That part after treatment is definitely important. And because when you're done with treatment, you were like in a safe space. People were not to be using. They're not supposed to be, you're working on yourself and you're among that support. But when you leave there, you could end up like just on your own. And so it's a little scary because you're not really sure about where to go and what to do. And, what places are, how do I handle, what if I end up around somebody who was using in my past life, and if it triggers something, or so.
Do you find that like the guys are like buddying up with each other? Like they're like
some of them,
each other?
Yes. I have a couple who came from same treatment centers, and they're funny because they're like, oh my gosh, we got to get other people in here. So they're like looking talking among themselves, who else would be good for the house and stuff.
Cool.
Still have beds open and everything.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's really funny. So they're wanting to we have everybody's sober. Everybody's in there working their program. And
how many beds do you have open right now?
7.
7? Okay.
Yeah.
How many singles or doubles? Are they all doubles?
Actually, everybody's shared right now. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have any singles. And that was partly because we had level 2 was our plan, which is mostly shared beds, but we changed over to level 1, and lots of people in general. We have currently men, but we're open to women and LGBTQIA plus community.
Cool. That's good to know. Yeah. Okay. Good.
So most everybody are looking, when they come from that too, they want single rooms, solo rooms. So that's been a push that I've been, we're looking at some places with solo rooms and stuff. That's what they're buying for the future. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah. But right now they're
so you mean our guy, the client that we had, a former Tal client we had sent over to you. He was so
He was.
heck bent on having his own room and
He
this.
was.
And so now he's living in a double?
He has his own room. We
Okay.
only had a couple of single solo
Okay.
rooms.
Okay.
So he is in his own room, and
Okay.
he's very happy. He's doing
But he's
really
doing
well.
good. That's so, I'm
Yes,
so
he's
glad to
doing
hear
so
that. Okay.
good.
Okay.
He
I just want to
actually
know that he's good.
He let me know. I think it was last week that he just got a raise at work, and
Yeah.
so he was so excited. He let me know. I'm so happy to see them thriving. They're just doing well, and I really appreciate it. So great to see.
A couple of our current clients are working with him. That they just went up there. They're like, we heard that this guy is working here, and and he's just so welcoming to them, and that business is so welcoming. It's so great.
They are actually. One of our other gentlemen needed a temporary work situation, and so he's working over there with them too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
nice.
He had a bit of a layoff, downtime at his job, so they were looking around. So yeah,
cool. That's awesome.
It is good.
That's great. It's what goes around comes around. It's like you spread the wealth. It's like you're in a good place. Why wouldn't you want to share it with people?
And and they do.
That's good.
That's exactly what we need, and that's what we want in the houses is a community that they're looking out for each other and they're connecting and making those connections.
And that leads me right to my next question. What qualities or habits do you see in residents who tend to thrive or succeed in sober living?
Connection.
Yeah,
that is absolutely huge. We need those people in our recovery journey who are also sober and have that connection and everything.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, that's and it's beyond just sober support. It's the phone call is one thing. The sponsor is one thing. The meeting is one thing. It's like it's a cumulative effort.
Right.
It's all these things we're drawing.
Additional activities and events and things like that too that are sober. I know somebody who told me about a concert he went to, and it was a sober concert.
Cool.
I know. I was really, I can't remember where it was held, but yeah, it was really kind of neat. I was like, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And one of our residents in the houses was on our street, was very excited, like, we should do a street block party and stuff. That would be great. And I'm like, I don't know if we could do it this time of year, but they're literally wanting to hook up with the neighbors and everything and be a total, alcohol, drug-free event. So cool. I'm like, yeah, I love that for them.
That's cool. It's great for the community. It's great. And it's the kind of thing that well, okay, will kids be welcome? And of course you could bring your kids.
Yeah.
Grandma could come, whoever. That's the whole point is that it brings people together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. So the block party idea, you gotta let me know when that happens because I want to be.
It may be next year. I know that they wanted to get it this year, but I'm like, guys, this is your homes and you need to make that initiative and to do that. And, but they're all working different schedules. They have great ideas. They're all working different schedules though. And so I'm not sure. If
maybe
that's
one guy that kind of champions the thing or is a proposal submitter or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And would
so
be really good.
Let's get back to our we have one more question before we talk about that. How do you balance accountability with compassion when someone is struggling?
Oh,
that's a tough one.
I saw that, and it is, but it isn't. It's kind of funny. I'm very direct.
Yeah,
I'm pretty direct all the time. The guys know that, but they do know that I care. They know that I appreciate them, but I am direct, and I will point blank tell them and say, listen, no, that's not how this is going to happen or that's going to happen.
Have you had somebody that's struggled or that's
once in a while situation, once in a while, but a lot of it's not too much.
Okay.
I mean, I feel very fortunate with who we have in our houses right now. Everybody's wanting to work the program. Once in a while it happens. And some of that stuff might come out during house meetings and when we're talking about policies and procedures, because we're working on our certification, getting that, and I go over some of the things with them and try to get some input from them. I'm like, this is what the state requires. What do you guys think? How can we work this? This is some ideas that I'm thinking, because I like to get their input on how we can work some things out that also makes it more home life.
Okay.
Because this is kind of their next step before they're off on their own if they choose to.
Right, sure. That's it gives them that landing pad where they can an experiment, but where they can test the boundaries. Am I allowed to have gas sober?
Yes,
am I allowed
exactly.
to have I'm sure that's probably a critical one.
Right.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure. So our first podcast guest, former client, graduated from Tal, transitioned into your sober living home. Without sharing anything confidential, what have partnerships like that meant for the people that we serve? Like, what does it mean to you to have like a beneficial partnership with treatment centers? Like, how is that? Like, give me like a snapshot. I'll look into like what that means for you.
It's amazing. It is really, really. I love having partnerships. So we each partnership with you guys with
Mm-hmm.
Tal here, and I love that so much. But our name has really gotten out in the community because
Yeah,
I go out to networking events and talking to them,
yeah,
and
yeah. I've seen you at
so
like the Lutheran Men's Ministry. We
yes,
did the thing to get there together.
yes.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's been
Super
a
Provider Day. Shout out to the
yes.
shelter
That's pretty
2100.
much where I got my start meeting some people, and it's amazing because everybody, I really love the Cleveland community because they really care about the residents, the
Mm-hmm.
clients, and stuff that are out there and working on the recovery
Yeah.
journey. And so there's a lot of networking that goes on, and people like I have somebody who needs this help, and people are throwing out there, well, we could take them, or try. So they I get try Pamela from I'm constantly getting calls, especially Monday and Tuesdays are really busy days.
Mm-hmm.
So and so told me to call you, and so different organizations
Oh,
and
cool.
said to call, or I get people from different treatment centers. So
Yeah.
it's been great because I'm getting lots of calls from people um, to get other residents in.
That's cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
because it's like the community part of it can't be overstated. Like I think for me personally, it's
Yeah.
like okay, like well, again, like we were talking about, like why wouldn't you want, if you're in a good place, why wouldn't you want to share it? Like the idea is that like this is like beneficial to everybody involved, like from the top down. Is it good for the guys? Yes. Is it good for us as a business? Yes. Is it good for you as a business? Yes. Then why wouldn't we want it? Like it just makes
And is
sense.
it
Like
good for me too?
right,
Like
yeah,
that's exactly how I look at things. Is this good for the house? Is this good for the organization? Is
yeah.
this good for something that I can deal with? Yeah.
Right. It's like there's these principles that are guiding us to want to get sober in the first place. Then we, by extension, we want to extend that to the community at large, right? Like I was talking in aftercare today about like the group. I was talking with them about like how like we don't recover in a vacuum.
No,
It's not like it's just me recovering. Like of
no.
course I'm only in control of my own recovery, but like beyond the influence of my recovery cannot really be estimated or like there's no way to put it in up. It can be quantified. You know what I mean? Like we
Right,
just have to,
right.
but we have to. We're compelled to want to be better people, and by extension, then the community at large benefits from it. Like I was at this meeting the other day, and like the door was locked, and like a police officer had to like let me into like it was at the library in Lakewood, and like the police officer was like joking. He was like, "Yeah, I checked the door earlier, and I thought there must not be a meeting tonight," and I was like, "Oh, there's." Yeah, so well, whatever. There's a meeting tonight. Like, oh, no such luck. Sorry, man. And he was like, no. He was like, no, such luck. Trust me. Like, he was like,
Yes.
we're glad that you guys have a place to go. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Because like, if I were where I was before,
Oh yeah.
like I'd be,
Yeah.
like you'd be locking another door on me or something. You know what I mean? It's like the police officer and I had this little back and forth because like it was funny because like that's the community at large benefits. Like
It
I'm not
is.
out there being a
It is.
menace to society anymore.
Right.
Like I'm not,
Right.
like that's real. And like,
It
and we
is
help each
real.
other to like the block party could be who knows, that might like convince somebody to somebody's on the fence about their recovery and they come and see that it's fun, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the ripple effect is what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
exactly. And it's hard because people don't always see if when you're in that using stage and you're not in recovery, it takes time for it to click that you see the other side and you're like, oh my gosh, I just
Yeah,
just bumping
I know
that
they're
too.
touchy. They're real touchy.
Yeah. So it takes a minute sometimes to see the other side though and click like, oh my gosh, sober life is so much better.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Because
couldn't imagine. Well, it was just like that's not for me. Like, I was like, okay, well, I see people are succeeding in recovery, but like they're boring, they're square, they're not enjoying their
right.
lives. Like, and it's like, no, they couldn't be.
It could be further from the
No, I mean,
truth.
like I'm enjoying first off, I'm alive because that wasn't a guarantee.
Exactly.
Like
Uh,
I'm enjoying my life. Like I'm able to do things today that I was never, like I'm going on vacation. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I've never like in a million years, like money, like no way. I had no, like
Right.
every
Right.
single red cent was accounted for. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to,
Yeah.
I'm
No,
not.
I know. Yeah, when you talk about that, and for sure, and that's one of my things too. I've always been like, if I ever, my life is the biggest thing I got from being sober,
Yeah,
because
I get my
I
life
am
back.
surprised sometimes that I'm here. So
Hmm.
I need to make good use of that.
Yeah, for sure. Um, what um, what are some misconceptions people have about sober living that you think you could help clear up? Like, what do you think was what's one big misconception people have?
That's a good question. I don't think people realize that it's it's not a mandatory thing. Like, you
Hmm.
don't have to be there
Yeah.
to do your treatment. But I think one of the hardest things is people being vulnerable with a group of people that they don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so maybe that's not a myth, but I think, because none of the myths coming to mind specifically, but I think one of the hardest part is when you're with a group of people and you don't know them, and having that, more structure,
Hmm.
and people not being sure that that's where they belong.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, that's probably a benefit to having guys 6 months sober is that they probably have
mhm.
had some kind of experience with like opening up and being vulnerable
Right, right,
at that point. You know, like
right,
they're already through PHP, they're already through IOP,
right.
they're already through residential. You know, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Um, what is success like to you? Is it just staying sober? Or is it something bigger? Like
Oh,
what's yeah.
it's more than just being
Yeah.
sober. There's,
Uh-huh.
what do they call that? The dry drunk and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
no, I think being in recovery, being sober, you're working your program.
Yeah.
You're not just staying sober, but you're working on yourself more personally. Mental health, I think of tremendously.
Yeah.
Um, I don't, my personal thought is, I don't think there's a single person who's been in recovery who didn't have to deal with mental health issues.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Because
just
I
like,
think that's where a lot of us ended up. So I think a lot of times when we're starting off our journey in recovery, that it's just stop using is like only the beginning.
mm-hmm.
And there's so much more that you learn, and that you need to work with and work on.
Yeah, early recovery, a lot of guys will look at the mental health stuff like it jumps out, like it's amplified because
Hmm.
of, the cessation of use, and then like post-acute withdrawal syndrome, all that stuff like
Right.
can kind of just like jumble, like our mental health struggles before that were like under control or manageable or being,
Because
you
you're
know,
not numbed anymore.
artificially managed by
Yeah.
substances are all of a sudden like amplified. And it's like, whoa, like, which one is it? Is it acute intoxication that we're dealing with? Like, like, okay, now they're in detox, now they're in early recovery. They're not intoxicated anymore. So now we have to like assess and keep on going with the mental health. It's such a huge part of what we do.
It
Like
is a lot of
such a huge part.
anxiety because your nervous system is not regulated, and you're like used to whatever trauma that you've been dealing with, and
Hmm.
hidden.
And again, that's all it has to do with the environment too, because
Hmm.
like if a guy's not comfortable, he doesn't want to share, he's going to shut down. He's not going to, he or she, I'd say guys, because we
Right,
mainly deal with guys, but we do have women here as well. A
right.
couple female clients right now. But not in the housing. We don't house female clients, but we
We
community
are,
clients.
yeah, we're
Um,
hoping to do women too as well.
cool.
We're
Yeah.
open to everybody.
But clients, so often I feel like a client will come in and they'll just like have this like like the mental health part of it is so huge is what I'm trying to say basically, like,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that we do a dual diagnosis informed approach and that we have the mental health end as
Hmm.
well, because it's so, I mean, I can't imagine
Right.
what we do without it,
Yeah,
like
that's
so
absolutely
many of our
huge.
guys are
And then
affected by
you
it.
like find your peace, you find your center, and you end up being more able to work with and have conversations with people and
Hmm.
interact with other people
Yeah,
in positive ways.
I mean, and there's no shame in that. There's no stigma. It's like we're already working on ourselves. We're already working
Hmm.
on, like, in order to recover from my disease of addiction, in order to fully embrace the process of recovery, I had to confront my anxiety and my depression, and I take medication for that. I'm not ashamed. Like it's
Yeah.
not. I had to see professionals because it was a bigger problem than just I could handle on my own. We don't do
Yeah,
this alone.
for
It's like
sure.
we're not recovering in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Um, okay, if you could leave our listeners with one message about recovery, community, or second chances, what would it be?
Oh gosh, I would say for sure to go take that chance and go do that. I have no regrets. It
You
takes
mean
some,
get sober in the
yeah,
first place?
for
Yeah,
sure.
cool. Uh-huh.
Go take a chance on getting out in the houses. It's a great place to be that you know people are not going to have the drugs, alcohol, whatever their choice was.
Hmm.
Um, and it's one of the better places to be. I like that in level one houses you can actually stay there as long as you want.
Yeah,
There's no
that's
time
the selling
frame
point for
there.
sure, big time. What,
So if you like it and you want to be a house manager and keep going, you can still do that.
what's the like longest that like you've seen a guy stay in your place?
Well, we've only been open. Well, we've been first person we have came in February.
Okay,
Yeah, around February. They're still there.
cool.
Yeah. So we had people there. Yeah, that's when we first started getting
Oh, you're
people.
relatively
So
new. I didn't realize you just start. Okay,
yeah,
so
we
wow.
just
Oh, we
we
started at
are.
like the same. Because I took this job in March, so you were brand new.
I came
Oh
in
wow,
last fall
that's
and
wild.
got started last fall. Actually, was brought in with them
Okay, because I was a
September.
peer support until March, and then I got my CDC a while ago, but I
Hmm.
didn't put it like Tal created this position, and then they were like, "Do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then James, I think, met you
Yes,
at
yes. I
at
met him over at Super Friday
and
Day.
then he was like, "You'd be perfect. Like, you two should meet. You two should start working together." And it was like just lined right up. I was like, "I got it. I got a guy. He's going to be graduating in a couple weeks."
Yeah,
It was more like a couple months until he graduated,
yeah.
but we got there eventually. And yeah, it's just so great to have you. To be able to build those relationships together, and because it's like it's bigger than us. It's bigger than us
Oh,
individually. It's
for
bigger
sure, for sure.
than the guys really. I mean, they don't, like they're so appreciative, and they're the ones that are doing it the right way, and the ones that are, like that need that. I shouldn't say doing it the right way. That's pejorative, but like the ones that need the help, it's good to know that we're there to help them when they
Right,
need the help. You know what I
right,
mean? Like if some guys, they don't want to, they don't want to go into sober living. Maybe they have their
right.
resources already kind of lined up, and they have their life they want to get back to. Like that's cool, But
Yeah,
for a client who's coming in, like, and they don't have any resources, they don't have anywhere to go. They don't, and they
right,
maybe they're not really ready to, um, you know, make that next severe step in their journey.
right,
It's good to know that
right.
there's places out there for them to go, and that's like where
Yeah,
I think the sober living option just makes a lot of sense because, like you said, it's an indefinite
yeah.
stay. It's structured. It's minimally structured. It's peer run, so they kind of like they have their own level of
Yeah.
autonomy over their
And it's,
experience.
yeah. And I think that's why they're also talking like who else could come there because they would rather bring somebody and they know than
Yeah.
me. If I brought like somebody that wasn't really working their program, they'd probably be upset.
Well, yeah, because we know who, we know. Sorry about that. We know
It's all
who's
right.
not, who is, and who's not.
Mm-hmm.
We know.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. It's
Yes.
yeah, it's
Yes.
obvious. Um, okay, so I don't. We're running out of time. We got like 10 minutes left. Um, 5 years from now, if one of your residents came back to visit, what would you hope their life looks like?
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that question. I just want them to be thriving. I just
Yeah.
want them to be doing what it is that they want to do.
Uh huh.
If they want to have a relationship, having a good, healthy relationship in a family, if that's what they're looking to do,
Yeah.
moving up the ranks in their jobs and
Yeah. Achieving their
being
goals.
sober, bringing, and supporting others in
Yeah.
their journey for sobriety. That would be the best.
Cool.
There's, yeah, a lot of them it's funny when a lot of them come in and they want to do the house manager and come back in and everything. And they also are working. And so they find themselves really busy, but they still have that as a goal. So I just think that seeing them thrive and happy and at peace in their recovery.
Yeah, that's it's thriving. I think that's a good word for it because it's like that's implies that like that there's like not only are they like getting by or managing or even succeeding, but like they're like growing, they're developing. There's
Mm-hmm.
a trajectory there, like,
Right.
and I mean, like we don't want to. I mean, the heartbreaking part about it is that like you have to say goodbye to these gentlemen and lady or future ladies at some point. Like you probably want to. At a
Yeah.
certain point, it's like, okay, this is no. it's when treatment is obvious, right? It's
Right,
obvious when it's
right.
not benefiting them anymore. It's like, okay, it's time to move on. Like
Yeah.
you've outgrown the program. But like in a sober living environment, that's like that they have that room to like figure out what it looks like for them. Some
Hmm.
people need 6 months, some people need a year, some people need multiple years. Like and you're able to see that like the like it pays dividends in these people's lives to have the room, to have that flexibility, to have that like that growth and that development, like their own. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a miracle. I mean, it's really a miracle. What to be able to help guys achieve that in their life,
Right.
help people achieve that in their life.
And to sit there and thriving is the word, because everybody has a different way of what they want their life to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And so as long as they're thriving, I mean, who knows if they want a family or if they don't want a family. I mean, just that they're happy and at peace and
Mm-hmm.
enjoying life.
Yeah.
Because my goodness, we all know that we had plenty of times when we were just not. And so I just want them to be moving forward and happy and at peace.
Yeah, it's tough, because there can be a lot of barriers to, we have to make those amends, and we have to, get that stuff out of the way, and like it can be intimidating, especially if like we return back to our home life, and and it's a lot easier to be like, okay, well I'm done with treatment now, and now I'm back to life, and like I'm sober, and then somebody comes along with a substance, and it's just like, well, whatever, like I'm all right. Like we don't want, like
oh my goodness,
to be able to prolong that experience of being involved and being active in our recovery,
not be complacent. Mm-hmm. Not be complacent.
For sure.
That can be the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so obvious to me when somebody in our treatment center is, it's typically when they get to the point where like, okay, they're evaluating like this decision. And a lot of times what happens too is a client will make those kind of decisions way ahead of time, and then like they don't, without realizing that like recovery is an ongoing thing, and it's going to exist well beyond these four walls. What are you going to do then when there's no, like, well, I'm going to go, like, it's like, all right, sure. Like you have the opportunity to choose freely, of course. Like we're not holding anybody hostage here, but at the same time, like, we'll probably want to make an informed decision. Like let's evaluate. Let's give it some more time. Let's be aware and be like objective about our truth, about what's going on with us, and realize that like recovery is not just like a one-step thing. It's not just like I come in here one day, I'm fixed. It's not like an operation. Like they're not, like it's not like a medical procedure. Like all of a sudden you have like you're fixed, and then see you later.
No, not at all. It's continuous work in progress.
Yeah, right. It's work. Work is the important. Yeah,
I think one thing for most of us is like look back where you were. Do you want to go back to that? Mm-mm. So that's something that is a reminder for me that helps. Yeah,
for sure. For me too. Pamela, it was great to have you today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being a guest. And I'm just so excited to continue this partnership. Do you want to plug We Mind Homes? Like, do you want to like?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is there a website or?
We do have a website, WeMindHomes.com, and there's an application on there, and so you can go on there and fill out the information. I get back to people pretty quickly.
Cool. And do you accept referrals like straight from the public if somebody wants to come in? And
people. Yeah, I get referrals from anybody, and I reach out. I will say criteria is having an income of some sort and 6 months sobriety.
Right. So if you have 6 months sober and you're looking for a place to live and you think you need to increase your level of accountability, whether or not you're graduating a treatment program or you're coming from home, if you want to consider sober living as a possible avenue to your recovery, check out We Mind Homes, people. WeMindHomes.com. They have an online application. And Pamela will get you sorted.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for being our guest today.
We are looking to expand in other areas too.
Awesome.
So we have our homes in Cleveland right now, but hope to be outside of that.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your growth. Thank you so much. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
See you soon.
So
Bye-bye.
much.